Hello friends! Today we are going to review the Powerslide Imperial Megacruiser, the monster inline skates with 125mm wheel size. I was thinking of getting these skates for quite a long time, and I was mostly excited about it when we were traveling in Netherlands, and we were getting tired before the end of the day, and there were still so many things to see and so many places to skate to. I really like traveling on inline skates when we can go and use it instead of transportation through the city and also outside of the city. So that was the main point why I wanted to have the skates with big wheels. The Powerslide declared that yes, these wheels will give higher speed, more endurance, and will still preserve the maneuvrability as we got used to on the 80mm baits. Well, that's why we have the 3 wheels only. So I got these skates about 4 months ago, and as you see, we both got these skates, and overall I'm happy about them, but not to the extent that I was expecting to. So here are the main points about them. First of all, I wanted these skates to really have higher endurance so that you can skate longer without getting tired. Would be also good to have a higher speed. Well, who doesn't like the higher speed? And the third important point for me was how good these skates with these bigger wheels are going to pass through the bad asphalt and various obstacles on the terrain. Regarding the speed and the maneuverability, I was expecting some 40% increase. I was basing this expectation on various statistics and comparison with speed skates, including the three-wheeler speed skates. However, in the result I measured, I got about 15%. I think that the main reasons are, first of all, the liners. These skates are coming with Fat Boy liners from Powerslide, and to be honest, these liners are shit. They are too soft and they don't transfer your stride power nice to the boot. It absorbs a bit of your energy. It's really too soft. Another reason is that while you have the big wheels, you do not have the long frame. Besides that, the bearings and the wheels are really not of the best quality on these skates. They are somewhere in the middle. Not very bad and not very good either. And another very important, I would say very considerable stopper is the frame. If you compare this frame to the other frames of other Powerslide skates like Hardcore Evos or even just the Imperials, you will see that they're very strong and they have some additional supports in the middle, and it really holds its shape nicely without the wheels. This frame here is thinner. It doesn't hold well the shape without the wheels. It uses also the wheels as additional support. Thus, when you do the turns, especially the sharp turns that require skate incline, you will feel that there is something that stops you. It's not very considerable, it doesn't really impact much the speed, but when you're going on the really big distance, you will feel it. You will get tired earlier just because of this, because the frame is not very tough enough. Otherwise, well, you are on a higher base, you can do stronger strides, you can do more skating techniques because having it much higher, it's kind of partially the benefit of the big wheeled speed skates. So yes, you do get more endurance, you do get more speed, but don't expect too much. 15% is the cap. You will be a little bit faster on these skates, and you will be able to skate a little bit longer without getting tired. Oh yeah, the power slides work on them, the T-stops work on them, I even tried the parallel one. Everything works almost just the same as on 80mm base. However, let's take a closer look. The frame is 255mm, which makes it a little bit longer than the frame of 80mm wheels, which is 243. This is actually an equivalent of having 4 of 84 wheels. That's the size of this frame. So yeah, you will lose a bit of maneuverability, and you will get more stability on the high speeds. Like if you go downhill, or if your speed is high, you will really be much more stable. It will be much easier to control your speed and to brake. But at the same time, while the base is 255mm, you should not be forgetting that the wheels are still larger than 84, so you have in total 4.5, like 4.5 centimeters longer distance between the start of the first wheel and the end of the last wheel. That's why all the elements that require crossing will be more difficult than on a traditional wheelbase. For example, doing the stepovers or changing from forward to backward moving, all these maneuvers and tricks that require stepping over and crossing the legs have to be much more careful, and you will need to kind of make the bigger distance between your legs, not to accidentally fall down. So yeah, otherwise, regarding the maneuverability, I have to say that I'm not using the skates a lot for the long distances on the straight line along the river, for example, or in a park. We are usually skating somewhere in the city where you have to turn a lot, and when you don't go with the maximum speed because there are cars, there are people, you have to often jump, turn and stop, so the average speed is not that high in that situation. And in that situation, I really noticed a very considerable decrease in maneuverability on these skates. Yes, you go a little bit quicker and you don't get tired that much, but I was really feeling huge decrease in the maneuverability when I needed to do some turns or rotations among the pedestrians. So yeah, that's regarding the maneuverability. Regarding of how well the skates can pass on the bad terrain, well, overall I'm very happy about it. They can go on the dirt, they can go better on the cobblestones, not ideally, but still better than the 80mm wheels. You can even go into a slight off-road. You can go on the grass, on the sandy area when there is not too much sand. So they are performing nice. The only way where I noticed a huge decrease is when you have the asphalt, which is full of cracks, like very cracky asphalt, and asphalt of this quality is in many places here in Prague. So I noticed this is some paradox probably, but no, I think it's explainable. When the asphalt is has a lot of cracks, the small wheels are performing much better. Most probably this is due to the fact that on the smaller wheels you have 4 touch points instead of only 3 of them, so they kind of absorb the big quantity of cracks in the asphalt much better. But yeah, if we take all the pavements, these skates are winning it. Well, what else to mention? The color of them is nice. They are yellow, they are shiny. Not only everyone will be looking at you and wow, but also it's like from the safety purpose, on these skates you are more noticeable, so there is a lower risk that you will not be seen by a car or by a bicycler, and you have less probability of getting into an accident. Overall, I'm relatively happy with these skates. I have to say that surely these skates are not for the beginners. You have to be able to skate and to brake, because all the elements and learning the things on these skates is more difficult than on the traditional 80mm base skates. But otherwise it's fun. So to summarize, first of all, the killer feature of this skate is how they look. They really look nice and shiny, and they are really nice. Second is that you get about 15% more speed and endurance, and overall you pass better on the bad surfaces. And of course it's also gives you some different experience, so it's kind of fun to skate on them. Regarding the disadvantages, first of all, I have to say that you on the low speeds you really feel a huge decrease in the maneuverability compared to 80mm base, or in Daria's case it's even less than 80mm. So you really, on the low speeds, you really feel the big difference. The maneuverability is much lower. And another disadvantage to consider is the build quality. Let's have a closer look at it. So here are my Megacruisers. If you look closer, you will see that the frame is not very thick. It's relatively weak. It doesn't have any additional support here. So, but considering the size and the height with the ground, you really need to have more support. Like, you feel that it slows you down when you do like sharp turns. Something is kind of, you feel that something is weird, but it's not very considerable. So yeah, it kind of plays its own role. This construction is relatively good. The boot itself is a very strong plastic, is very thick, and it's thick enough to fight against the high pressure being generated by the big wheel size. For example, I tried to put this frame on my green rollerblade twisters once for testing, and their boot was not strong enough. On the sharp turns it was really like squeezing an about to brake, so I didn't experiment much with it. So the boot here is really strong and good, except the fact that it's too thin. I don't know for which legs they were made, but I have some friends that have thin legs. I also have thin legs, but still, from the sides here, from the right and from the left, there is a lot of pressure, so I had to use the heat gun to boot fit them to make them wider in the front. And also there was a lot of pressure on the ankle, so if you look here, I made a bump here to fight against that, and also I had to make it wider here in the bottom because it was also putting pressure on this bottom side. So yeah, the boot is good quality but bad shape, not for the normal human leg. The buckles, they are okay, but if I compare them to the buckles of Powerslide's hardcore Evo skates, these buckles are much worse. The worst quality part is the liner, this so-called fatboy liner, which is heat moldable, but that heat molding doesn't really help. You still have too much foam here on the top. It absorbs your energy, it makes you have less control on the skates, and the worst part is that in the ankle area you don't have that much foam, so you still feel the pressure unless you do the boot fitting on the skate. So the worst part is this fatboy liner. When I was trying to buy the new liner for my rollerblade twisters, this was one of the choices that I tried, and I knew that it's not good since then. It's too soft. So I bought the other liner still from Powerslide, but with the tougher foam.
So thank you for your attention. I hope that this video answered all the questions that you had or you might have regarding the big wheels. Now you can think whether you need them as your first skates, for sure no. And of course you need to be already a relatively good skater in order to skate on these big wheels. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos.